What do you miss the most about America? Like when you think, like, what do you miss the most?
Nothing. No.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the Melanated Files. My name is Ranzo and today we're joined by Bill. We're at his house right now. He is a caricature artist, airbrush artist, designer, all-around creative, living in Yokohama, Japan for over 20 years. A long history, a long story. We are going to get into his story right now.
Just a little bit about what I do. I've been in Japan, of course, 23 years. I like airbrushing. Airbrushing spans a whole plethora of things. I've done walls, cars, trucks. I've done towels. I've done airplanes. I've done boats. So I do a lot. Now what's popular that I've been doing is, of course, doing t-shirts, which is a mainstay, hats. But caricatures. I love caricatures. I developed those about maybe 25 years ago, started doing them, and love doing them now. So I travel a lot. I don't travel a lot, but I move around a lot doing caricatures. And this one right here, I did, this is Trump, and this is Abe, and this is the pen guy, Apple pen guy. And you can see here what they're doing here. This is, I thought I got up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and thought about this idea and drew this out. And I was just like, I had to do it. Many times I get up early in the morning and I can't sleep. So I have to draw the things that's on my mind. Yes. But anyway, as you see, I do caricatures and t-shirts and so on. Hats, shoes. Like this is what I'm doing here. I haven't finished it, but these are going to be for display. This is, my favorite character is Dash from The Incredibles, right? And I thought about, this would be kind of cool. Do the emblem logo and then put Dash on it. So I got to finish these, all right? Also, what's going to be popular is face painting. And so I've been practicing. I've done a few face painting parties, right? And very soon, I'm going to try to promote doing face painting as part of my service. So I do travel around. If you have a party and you want something exciting and something to give your kids or your friends, invite me. I can do it. And it will be fun. And you will be surprised. So my name is Bill Hall. Grew up in Alabama and joined the military. Been here and there. And wound up here in Japan.
So this was what, 2000?
No, actually, I joined the military in 1998.
Okay.
I was at the last bit of my age. You know how there's a limit to join. I joined at the last minute. And that was 28. And I came to Japan in 1997.
Okay.
Yes. But before that, I was in Asia. Korea for 4 years, Okinawa for a year. Then I went to Hawaii after I left Okinawa and was there for 4 years or 5 years, somewhere thereabout.
So how was your military experience? What was that like when you came to Asia?
The military was good. It was fun actually. The job I did was the job I joined for. I tried to join for was graphic design.
Okay.
And so what happened was they said, yeah, you can join. You might be able to get the job in graphic design because I've been drawing all my life. I actually wanted to go to college for drawing. But my dad said, nah, you can't make any money doing art.
I see.
So you might as well go do something else, right? So I went to trade school after that. Then I said, okay, then things were going here and there. And so then I joined the military.
Okay.
And I thought I'd get the job in graphic design.
They tricked you, did they?
And so I went and signed the papers. And lo and behold, they had me, you're going to be an aircraft mechanic. What? Aircraft mechanic? Man, are you kidding? And I said, okay, all right. Anyway, I said, that wasn't so bad. So I joined and I said, well, whatever you do, don't send me overseas.
Okay.
And lo and behold, what did they do? They sent me overseas. And my first duty station was Korea.
Okay.
Also in Korea. And I loved it there, man. Korea was a really, really good experience. But it was super cold. Super cold in the winter time.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, ended up there. After that, stayed there for 4 years. 2 years in the military and 2 years out.
Okay.
And then went to Okinawa, stayed there for a year. And then went to Hawaii and stayed there for 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you like the warmth, yeah?
Yeah, of course. I'm from Alabama, man. Come on, really? Yeah, I'm a southern guy. I got to have it warm somewhere.
Right. So when you moved to Yokohama, right? Were you still in the military or
No. Well, I was in the reserve.
Okay.
But I didn't move to Yokohama. I haven't been in Yokohama. I've been in Yokohama now maybe 6 years or 7 years. But I came to Japan and I lived in Saitama.
Saitama, okay.
Yeah, been in Saitama for a long time. Then, life moves on. And then I moved to Okinawa. I moved to Yokohama. Yokohama to Fujisawa. Fujisawa to Chigasaki. Chigasaki back to Yokohama.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you love Yokohama then?
Oh, yeah. Yokohama was, you know why I love Yokohama? When I first came to Japan, the first thing that happened was we took a family trip at the time. And we came to Yokohama, and Sakaragicho, they had a long strip. And on that strip, they had graffiti down the whole wall. I said, yo, this is my city right here, boy. This is my city.
Yeah.
And it ended up like, that's my favorite place.
Okay.
And it's been ever since then.
Okay. So when did you get back into art? Because now you're doing what you love, right? So tell me about that journey.
Well, actually, I've never really stopped art. I've been doing art since I was 6 years old.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Of course, not professionally, but after high school, couldn't go to college for art, so I picked up doing art here and there. Worked for a sign shop a couple of times. Then started doing freelance art like car tags and so on. And then how I picked up on airbrushing was one day I went to the mall. This is in Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay.
And I saw this white dude. He was in the gym. He had like a store, kiosk, and he was airbrushing. Dude, I stayed there for about 4 hours watching him just paint. And I said, you know what? That's what I want to do.
Okay.
And so I went to got the equipment and with practice, And anything you start, a lot of times you get started, but then you become frustrated because you don't see yourself progressing, right? But for the first like 2-3 months, I was like, I ain't gonna get this. I ain't gonna get this, But I'm a person that never likes to quit. I got to do it. Be like competitive edge.
Yes.
And so I just bear down, and within a month and a half, I started doing it every day, and I got proficient at it, and been doing it ever since.
Okay.
Airbrushing.
So this is what you do now in Japan?
Yes, plus teaching, of course. Okay. Everybody teaches, right?
Okay.
There's an artist, they have like a struggle that they go through, right? And so, I've been doing this off and on for all the time I've been here in Japan.
Okay.
Yes.
Right now you do airbrushing and teaching English, right?
Airbrushing, teaching, giggling, and caricatures. Yeah, for parties and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me about the journey doing airbrushing in Japan, right? Because you've done some for various clients.
Oh yeah.
What's that like? Usually
the thing that you deal with is exposure when you are painting, or I don't say you want to get recognized, but you want to continue to do business and develop clients. And so the only way here in Japan to do that is to be out there in the public. And the only way to be out in the public is you have to find venues where you can expose your art, right? And so festivals, parties, clubs, and so on. So when I first started in Japan, the first person I like to thank on camera is Bachi. He's a really good friend of mine, and then I started painting in the club, and he was the first one to give my chance.
Caricatures?
Actually, airbrushing.
Okay.
Airbrushing hats, t-shirts, and he gave me my first chance. And so what I did was, it was Jack Mall here in Yokohama. At that time, I was living in Saitama.
Okay.
So I would come from Saitama all the way to Yokohama, and he would let me work in his club.
Okay.
And ever since then, I would get people come in and they'll ask, yeah, I want you to come to my club. I want you to come do this here. And that's how the business trickles in, right? But once you stop, or if you do stop, then the business trickles in. So you have to be constantly at your craft to kind of continue to get business or continue to get exposure. And so, sometimes you get burnt out. Sometimes you get tired, and you just have to give it a break. And if you're passionate about what you do, that bug will bite you again. And you will always I got to get back in there. Got to get back in and do it. And so now I've been back at it now for about maybe 6 or 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you spend the vast majority of your time doing airbrushing?
I would say it's 50-50.
Okay.
Yeah, 50-50. I usually teach 3 or 4 days a week, and I usually do art 3 or 4 days a week. Okay. So you see their overlap. I think it was 7 days, right? So you see their overlap. So, I mean, I enjoy it. And then I think for me, it's comfortable to do it that way. And so, but now I'm getting a boost. I'm trying to push the art a little bit more, and to do more events, to get more exposure, and it actually is starting to come through.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is even more exposure as well.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And guys, if you can see this, right, I'm gonna show you guys some close up. He just did this for me just now, right? BJ, you guys can see it. There's a towel as well. We'll show you guys the footage right now so you can see how talented Bill is. All the links will be in the description down below if you want to support Bill. If you're in Japan, especially, right? Go and follow him on social media, etc. Right?
Yes.
Right?
Please.
So you've been there for 23 years.
Oh yeah,
right? So
23 years.
Tell me about the journey. How has Japan changed since 1997 and now it's 2020?
Technology. I would say technology is the first thing. A lot of the culture is still the same. Technology has made it a little bit more convenient, but kind of dividing. Because. Before, you had K-ties, before you had cell phones, you could get a little bit more talking in with people. But now you can't get any talking in. Everybody's like, I tell you what, every time I ride the train, I always do this. I get on the train and I sit down and I see how many people within the car that I'm in, how many people are using their cell phones.
Yeah.
And I promise you will get at least 85 to 95% somebody's on their K-tie. They're not looking around. They're not talking. They're not doing anything. But that's kind of the culture of Japan anyway. But it's just strange that there's even more,
So before, what would have been the difference?
There would be still no interaction.
Okay.
But they would have headphones on for music. The iPod was out, all that kind of stuff. So they'd be listening to music or something, or reading a book, or something. But now, when they got video games, and I see, and this is surprising. Now, I know I played video games when I was a kid, and I played them a lot, but some of the older people playing video games, I mean, seriously at it, I was like, wow, they must be really get into it. So
even Pokemon Go, you see them,
man.
even now.
So I'm like, whoa. I mean, they're really serious about it. I gave up video games a long time ago because I was an addict. So I would play all day. But that's when they had the arcades. When they got the video games on computer and things like that, I just never really got into it. So, I just never got into it. So I just left it alone.
What about foreigners? At the time in 1997 till now, do you see a lot more foreigners now? Do you feel like Japan is more open to foreigners in 2020?
I think it's they're a little bit more open, and I see a lot more Chinese, not just the big out races, There's a lot more Chinese, a lot more Indians,
Okay.
and people from South America.
Okay.
Now, when I first got here, mainly I would see, and maybe because of where I lived, I would see mostly just Africans and people from Europe,
Okay.
right? But in the last few years, I've seen an influx of a lot more people from Latin America, a lot more people from the Middle East.
Okay.
And I think it's cool because they bring a lot of their culture here, and a lot of good food, and so it just makes it interesting. Yeah, it's been fun actually. Yeah.
So, what would you say your Black experience has been like in Japan so far, and how has it changed over the last 2 decades?
I would say it hasn't really changed. I think it depends on you and how you're dealing with life, your experience.
Okay.
When I first came here, people look and treat me almost the same.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, I walk down the street and people still, stare like, oh, there's a black guy, or something like that, right? And little kids, especially, because I teach a lot, so I teach a lot of little kids.
Okay.
And that experience never changes. Kids are always like, okay. But other than that, the experience, I think, other thing is that when I first came here, I would get stopped by the police a lot.
Okay.
To check, ID or whatever. But for the last, let's say, 6 or 7 years, I haven't been checked.
Okay.
I don't know if I've been here long enough or they know me already. I don't know. But I haven't had that experience, since I've been here lately.
So what advice would you impart to anyone that's considering coming to Japan, or people who are here but haven't been living here so long or as long?
First, do not come with any preconceived ideas. That's one thing. If you get here, open your mind to different things. Don't be judgmental. I think a lot of times we come here with ideas and we think things should be this way or that way, and when we haven't lived here long enough to kind of see. So don't be judgmental. Open your mind to different cultures and different things that people do here. And socialize, get out. A lot of times when I like to, if I've lived in several different areas in Japan. And the thing I like to do is get out and walk around my neighborhood. And, be surprised that you can say hi and people say hi back, And they don't know you, but they will speak, So if you show yourself to be friendly, people will be friendly to you too, I think. So be friendly.
So what was dating like in Japan? You came here way back in 1997.
There was no dating when I came here in 97. I was married at the time.
Okay. So you're married when you came here?
Yeah, I was married when I came here. My Japanese wife when I came here.
Okay.
And we lived in Saitama.
Saitama. Okay.
Yeah. So there was no dating. So, but anyway, we had a good time. We had kids while we were here, and most of my kids now are grown.
Okay. How many kids did you have?
3 kids.
Okay.
3 kids. We're not together now, but we're still cordial. We will still get good friends. We still talk and communicate, especially about our kids. But yeah, so.
What was that experience like? The cultural difference and all that. What was that like?
Actually, I've never really had any problem with cultural differences.
Ah, okay.
My dad was in the military for 20 years, so we had cultural exchange with many different countries when we were kids.
Ah.
Also, I joined the military in the Air Force, and just cultural diversity has never been a problem for me. Adjusting to different cultures has never been a problem. I like the change, the differences, and so kind of explore in a sense. So I have never had such a bad experience, But
what was the experience for kids like being half in Japan?
For the kids, from what I can tell and how we raised our kids, they seem like they had a good experience. They're grown now. Most of them grown. 2 of them are grown right now. And they seem to have turned out, all right, basically. So I can't say they had a bad experience, but they've never really talked to me about, and we have a good relationship, so we talk a lot, but they've never really confided and said that these people are doing this or these people are doing that. If it was something that was super serious, then we would have found out about it, but it wasn't. So I think they had a good childhood. I think they had a good experience with growing up in Japan as have kids. Yeah.
What experience or maybe an advice do you think has grown out of your time in Japan so far? You entered Japan maybe one way, and now like 20 plus years later, did you learn something over the last 2 decades?
Oh,
you want to share?
Yeah. I mean, you learn something all the time. All the experiences you go through, or teaching moments, or learning experiences for you, dealing with people. So over the past 23 years in Japan, you met a lot of different people. Because of what I do and the travelings that I've been going through, I met a lot of different people. So it hasn't really changed me. It's just given me more ammunition to work with when I deal with other people. Being a teacher, teaching English, you deal with a culture and differences here. And also the multicultural, because they have so many other nationalities here, you deal with them also. And you just gather so many tidbits of things that you use to navigate Japan every day. Yeah.
How is it teaching in Japan? So you've been a teacher here. What's it like going into the classroom the first time? Tell me about that experience.
XX is kind of cool because I love kids. I've been working with kids, when I was in the United States too.
Okay.
And so it wasn't an issue for me to go in the classroom and just kind of get used to it. It was easy for me to kind of be open and be able to talk to kids. I think kids see me as being approachable, So I don't think they had a hard time adjusting to me. Because I'm always smiling and laughing and joking. I think they were like, "Oh, okay, this guy's cool. He's a good teacher. He's okay, right?" The experience though with kids, there's two types of teaching in Japan. One is the teaching at the Eikaiwa, that's the conversation schools, and then teaching as an ALT.
Yeah.
Both experiences are different, I guess, in a sense. In the ALT business, you wish you could do more.
Okay.
Because normally what happens is they use you kind of like a tape recorder. And basically you're just repeating, saying, talking. Whereas it seems to me that they should do a lot more interaction and speaking and letting the students speak. But the curriculum that they have, from what we've talked about, with many people we talked about, discussed, the teachers have to push and get them to go through a certain time frame for curriculum in English, right? So they don't get a chance to do that much speaking, and so they lose. To me, they lose a lot. Okay. Now, on the other hand, the Eikaiwas gives you opportunity to spend more time in trying to get people to speak more, but sometimes the companies want to push them to do a certain thing. Most of the students basically just want to talk. They want to experience it just off the cuff, talking off the cuff. They don't want to go through the books. They don't want to go to just talk to me. Let's just talk. So you find that sometimes that can be frustrating for the students. So maybe the lower level ones that don't have a hard time, they still want to try, but they don't. I think you have to come up with innovative ways to keep their attention and help them become motivated and inspired. I really, really love teaching. Been loving teaching kids.
Okay.
And I've developed a game program to deal with kids and how to give them a good experience, a rich experience in more engaging in activity. It's called Ego Fun Challenge.
Okay.
Right. So it's a brand that I'm trying to develop and push forward, even with the business that I'm doing now.
Okay.
Oh man, if I had to explain my whole business plan, you would like, whoa, all this stuff goes together, mixes together. My art business, along with my English experience, I have come up with an idea. I think a system that I'm trying to implement, and it's starting to happen.
Okay.
So maybe in the near future, you'll hear more about
Okay.
this business, this
Sounds
Ego Fun
intriguing.
Challenge.
You should do it.
Yeah, this Ego Fun Challenge and how I'm going to use it to try to engage the public. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you miss the most about America? Like when you think, like, what do you miss the most?
Nothing. No. No. Actually, honestly, I don't. I miss my family. That's the only thing I miss is my brothers, my friends, and but America itself. I don't miss America. Like that. But the people in it, the people that I associated, people that was a part of my life. I miss those. I miss that part.
Okay.
But in any country you go to, I think you make it your home, right? And it won't be that much different than where you live in the States. The only difference is, to me, is culture.
Okay.
People act and do the same in every country. So I don't really feel like I'm missing America. To me, it's just a different version of living, as opposed to it being America or Japan or Korea. I just say make every place that you go, your home.
Did you experience any culture shock in the first 6 months to a year when you came here?
In Japan?
Yeah. How do you handle the language?
The language, actually, when I was in Hawaii, I studied Japanese for 1 semester.
Okay.
When I was at the University of Hawaii Pacific University.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I didn't really study. I studied, but I didn't study. But my experiences coming to Japan is most. I mean, if you exclude the writing part, the Japanese part can be easily picked up and understood through mannerisms and consistent, situations, right? You can learn that, and it's not hard. You might not be able to speak it well, but you can understand and communicate, right? The only culture shock that I had was the trains.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm from Alabama, and I guess when I was in Hawaii, we didn't really have trains. We have buses, of course, but dude, you talking about getting on the train in the morning? Oh my God!
This was crazy too.
Man,
even now,
super crazy.
What about traveling overall for Black people? Do you think traveling is important for people overall?
I mean, around the world, just getting out traveling.
Just getting
of course. I would say I'll be honest with you. If I had never joined the military, I would probably still be in Alabama.
Okay.
So the military afforded me the chance to see life in a different situation, and after seeing that, then you realize how much bigger the world is, right? And so I would say anybody who's attempting or wants to travel, don't be afraid to. I think you will only become a richer person. That's in your mental state as far as understanding life around the world. So travel. Don't be scared. Take that first step. Get out there and do it. You'll have a good time.
How do you find the system in Japan in terms of medical system?
They are bang up medical system. I mean, I think it is. I don't see why. Well, I'm gonna say that, but anyway, I think it's cool because they have a national program, and you're taken care of. Basically, you don't have to worry about the expensive medicines or so on all the time. So once you get on the national insurance, then basically you're gonna get medicine when you need it and how you need it, and you don't have to worry. So I think it's commendable, actually.
So your overall experience in Japan, like everything, like the banking, health, everything, you think it's a really good society for people to live in?
Yeah, I think everything is good except for the inflexibility.
Okay.
This experience, I mean, this to me, this is so funny, right? And I don't see why the Japanese people don't see that. I guess some of them do, but some of them just don't. You go to McDonald's or you go to some fast food place, right? And you say, okay, look, I don't want French fries. Can you substitute for something else? Exactly. I mean, the price is the same, and they say no. And but why not? I mean, instead of onion rings, you want potatoes. Potatoes or onion rings. But you can't switch.
So that's what you like the least about Japan?
And this is inflexibility. That's it. Everything else is good.
Okay. What do you like the most about Japan?
Everything, actually. I don't have any particular thing that's different or better than the other. It's just everything, or my experience so far for myself. I can't speak for anybody else. Has been good in society-wise, dealing with people, going out, visiting places, business, doing all kinds of stuff, around Japan. It has been, to me, a really, really good experience. I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what's your ambitions for the next 5 years in Japan? Like, where do you see yourself?
Hopefully developing my business to a point where I can pass it on to my kids.
Okay.
That's my biggest thing. I'm really passionate about what I do, and my kids, they might not do exactly what I do, but if I can develop it to a point where it can produce, I want to say, hey, look, son or my daughter, say, hey, if you want to, it's yours, and I can pass it on, and that's what I want to do.
Do you have a philosophy that you live your life by?
This is my thing. I think laughter is the best medicine.
True.
You can't be so serious about everything.
This is true.
Right? Even some of the serious things.
Yeah.
You gotta have a lighter side to it. Like, look, you can't just take it to the nth degree about it. Step back. Relax, be calm, and laugh a lot about many different things. It's not that serious.
This is true.
It's not that serious. So I just say, be yourself, be true, be honest, and
laugh a lot.
Laugh a lot, and help people. Don't be afraid to stick your hand out and say, look, man, or you need help. Okay, let me help you. Don't be afraid. That's it.
Where can people find you online?
Of course, there's 8x1 Bees Joint.
Okay.
On the internet, anywhere in the world. There's Bees Joint 1 for Facebook. You can check me out on Instagram, Hall at 7529. Hall 7529. And Twitter.
Okay.
Twitter is B Never Quits.
Okay.
B Never Quits.
So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and remember to subscribe to this channel for weekly videos on the Black experience across the globe. Until next time, bye for now.
Yes, B-E-J.